produce a new sound. Now there's one more thing that I need to tell you about, and that is when you have the diphthongs that are the result of joining one word to another word. Sometimes that word that is being joined to the next word may end in tenween. And if it does in tenween is where we have, I do have an example of that we're going to give you today. Tenween is where we have a double vowel sound. That's called a tenween. Double vowel sound. Any one of the three vowels, a, e, or u, can be doubled only at the end of a word, all right? Only at the end of a word. And so the a becomes an, the e becomes in, and the u becomes un, all right? But if they are joined with the next word, then they fall back to their original character of a, e, u. And then, so that's how that diphthong will be formed. So if it's in, then it will be e-u-wa, if it's before the word wa, all right? That's a common connection there that I gave you when I say e-u-wa, because wa is a word by itself. Remember the letter wa? Right away when you see wa, if you see a shadda on it, you know that it is to be pronounced with the word that came before it, all right? And that's going to give you a diphthong. Unless the word before it ends in u or in un. If so, then this just becomes long. For instance, if this was yakulua, we would just say laku, I'm just making an example. We would say laku, yakulua. We wouldn't say lakulua. Lakulua. All right? Okay, let me get now back to our next diphthong that we want to give today, and we're not going to try to give you all of them because it takes too long. Oh, by the way, inshallah, I do intend to have an informal class at the Independence Day celebration. I'll have a board like this. It may be small. I do have one this time. I have one smaller also. And for those who are interested, we'll set up something to the side so that I can show you something about English. Remember, that's what that 4th of July is going to be about. English. It's not going to be Arabic. Okay, it's going to be about English. How to better understand the English language. Okay, that's the language that we speak, and the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that the slave would never be free until he learns the language of his master. And this is a big complication in our lives today. We speak English, but we don't really understand it. All right? So that's what we will do. We'll find a tree somewhere and prop the board up against the tree, and I'll get down on my knees and write on the board, if you promise to help me up. All right. Okay. So now let's deal with the a-u. A-u. All right. That's the short vowel a with u. So we have the word like yaum. Yaum is a word that means what? Day. Day. All right. All right. And we have that example in. Let me see, 1, 3, and 2, 8. All right. Now, these are just some examples that I picked out. I don't mean that that's the only place that you find these words. You need to go searching, and also remind you again, keep listening. When you keep listening, then you'll be interested in some. I heard that before, and now you can go and search for it. And you don't have to be reading. Just take your finger and go looking for it. Just go looking for it. And I guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to be rewarded. All right, yaum. So the vowel here, a and u, is yau, yau, yau. And of course, the word is yaumi, yaumi. But if we're saying the word by itself, or if it's at the end of a sentence, generally we drop the last vowel. If it's said by itself, or if it's at the end of a sentence, at the end of a statement. All right? All right. All right, now, I want to try to get one that's a little different. But there was something else I want to show you. Let me sidetrack for just 1 second, because it was when I was looking at this. I want to show you this. All right. This is sidetrack here. While it's on my mind, I want you. Okay. Sabbaha, right? Sabbaha. And that means to worship. Sabbaha means to worship. That's where we get Subhanallah from. Subhanallah, Sabbaha. And of course, sabbaha comes from the word sabaha. And then sabaha doesn't mean to worship. All right? I'm going to give you an increased understanding on the word worship. All right? Sabaha means to swim. So if sabaha is coming from the word sabaha, which means we take the shat down and just be sabaha, then it's telling us that worship is much like swimming. You have to get totally involved. You see, you can't sit on the side of the pool and stick your feet in the water and say, "What you doing?" "I'm swimming right now, man." You see, the old boy that lost his mind, just got his feet stuck in the water, think he's swimming. You got to be, and that's the same thing for worship. You have to be totally involved. All right, it's not a Friday thing. All right, and a first Sunday thing. It is total involvement. All right, so that's the key. Now, when I was looking at that word, I thought I would show you something else. This is a little sidetrack information here, and it does so happen to have the shadda in, which we talked about earlier, but I want to show you something else about dots. All right? Because sometimes we think, "Oh, I just missed a dot." You missed a dot and make a serious mistake. You know that? Sabbaha. Sabbaha is dealing with manure. All right? Yeah. Sabbaha is to worship, and Sabbaha, because I put a dot in there. Also, one more thing right quick on the dot, and that is, take this word up here right quick, all right? I'm not going to do it, but if I took that, I'm not going to put it up there, but if I took that word, and I'm going to leave it here by itself, all right? But suppose I mistakenly put a dot there. Is that still referring to Allah? That's shaitan. Shaitan. L-G, did I? What did I do? Oh, I left the ra. There's a ra. I'm sorry, I have it misspelled. Excuse me. I know something wasn't looking right. All right, left the ra out. That's why I wasn't looking right to me. All right. All right. Now, instead of that being Allah, which is up here, this is an attribute of Allah. Now, this is shaitan. And we have that in the expression. We say, right, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." So suppose you wrote that and forgot to put your dot in there, and you're talking about shaitan. "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." I can't say it, but you'll be saying Rahim. No, that'd be very incorrect. So remember that your dots are very important. That's all I'm going to say on that right now. I just wanted to share that with you because it's on the top of my mind. All right? Okay. Okay, so dots are very much a part of the letters. Very, very much a part of the letters, and if you miss the dots, you may have another word altogether. I gave you 2 examples. Okay, now, let's see which one I want. I'm choosing the ones. Okay, I want to give you one where we end, where the owl, owl, which is a diphthong, it comes about as a result of joining 2 words together, all right?
Ma'am Jean.
Yes.
On this, where you said IE, there's supposed to be another dot on the bottom of that.
Yes.
It looks like Ab, no, in the column over here with the.
Where are we now?
When you first started with the first diphthong.
Oh, it's there. Is that just not big enough? But I'll make it big enough. I'll make it big enough. Here it is, right here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you know, it should be big. It's kind of like talking. You know, if you say something and if I say something and you didn't understand me, I didn't say anything. The burden is up on the speaker, right? You know, if I say something you didn't hear me, I might as well not say anything. Well, the same thing. So if I write something and you can't see it, then it's not written. Okay, but I think if you bring to my attention, it was just too small. Okay. Now I was going to give you showing you an a'u with where we're joining 2 words together and also dealing with the tanween situation. All right, firashan, fi